Hello everybody and welcome back to another live stream with the IELTS Grind. This is Phil speaking, and tonight we're going to be doing some practice speaking. So there's lots of things for us to do today. We can do some mock exams, we can do some practice questions. So in order to do this, you just have to join me in the Zoom call, which I'm going to start very soon. In order to do this, and you can find all of this information in the live chat here. So if you click on the link. So, hi, yeah, I can see Maria in the chat. How are you today? No doubt we'll have an opportunity to have a chat later on. So, when you're watching these live streams, do make sure that you click on the live button on your phones or in your browser. That will keep you watching in the same time as I'm speaking. And if at any point you do find these helpful video, you can always give us a like, which always helps us spread the message a little bit more. Okay, so let's give everyone a little bit more time to join. So what we're going to do, I've got a few practice questions. These were questions that Michael was working on our Tuesday call. So if you missed that, you can find that information on our channel. So Michael was, there's Michael. Michael was going through some vocabulary to do with companies. So you can come and watch that video if you happen to miss it. But we have some practice questions from that stream, so you can practice that. And then I prepared a few full mock speaking exams for people. So if you've never spoken to me before, if you've never spoken to a native speaker before, this is a great opportunity to do that. So we'll get started in just a little minute, just as we're waiting for a few more people to join. Yeah. So I think what we'll do is we may keep the full test for, ideally for people that haven't ever done a full test before, just because I feel like a lot of people try to take the full test with us, and because they take so long they tend to drop off. So we may keep at least a couple of those full tests for first timers, but of course if no one joins me, they're up for grabs for anyone. Okay, so I'm going to start up my Zoom call now and we'll see who joins, and we're going to start off with some practice questions. And then later on we'll start doing these full mock speaking tests. Okay, let's go back to let's go back to our main page. Okay. Right, so the Zoom call is live. Just bear with me a second, just initially have to restart that. What went wrong there? Something didn't work. Ah, I see, that's it. Okay, so I will be restarting the same Zoom call, so you should be able to use exactly the same information to join. And it should be working as it should be now. Okay. Right, so let's start off and see who we've got. So just let me know when you can hear me in Zoom. Hello, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing well. So, how have you been?
Yeah, I can't complain. Uh,
Hmm.
had a nice day today. How is the weather where you are?
Uh, it is like raining heavily
Oh,
here.
oh really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's bright and sunny. Well, it was earlier today. I tend to keep inside when it's too sunny. I don't want to get sunburnt.
Hmm.
Okay, uh, so you said that you wanted to have a go at one of the full exams. Do you still want to do that?
Yes, of course, there.
Okay, well, seeing that we don't have any other punters, a punter is someone like a customer. So this is this slang in the
Punch.
UK. A punter, punter, very
Yeah,
much
okay.
British English slang. But there are no punters, so you have full reign of what you want to do. So let me
Yes.
get one of these. Let's start with number one, and we'll go for it. Okay, so let me start a timer so we can try and keep it in the 11 to 14 minute range of the real test.
Yeah.
Okay, and let me just grab a bit of paper. Where's my bit of paper? There we go. Okay,
Hmm.
so let's begin by talking about your hometown. What do you like about your neighbours?
Well, I'm currently living in a really picturesque and peaceful hometown. I like it very much, but especially for the local people here, they are like extremely sociable and really friendly to even to the strangers. Yeah.
Do you often socialise with your neighbours?
Yeah, frequently. That is well, my daily activity because they are so cute and adorable. I just want to keep hold a conversation to them. Yeah, they're pretty. They are so pretty.
Have you ever had an argument with a neighbour?
Mm, of course, sure, sir. Well, it is not. It is only a tiny argument. I don't really care about that. But we scold. Not I scold, but my neighbor scolded me because she thought that I I stole her phone.
So let's now talk about chocolate. Do you like chocolate?
Yeah, I'm an avid fan of chocolate. Well, not really like sweet tea chocolate because it is like so sweet to me, but I like bitter chocolate, yeah, which is really interesting and not boring at all.
How old should you be to eat chocolate?
Oh, I I don't remember it exactly. I suppose that maybe like over 5 years old. Yeah, my parents allowed me to eat chocolate since yeah.
Does chocolate make a good gift?
Oh, I think yeah, definitely it is a really really adorable and meaningful uh present to to give people because it is so adorable and tasty and it brings the sweetness to everybody that that is received.
So I'd like to ask you about buses. Do you ever take the
Oh,
bus?
No, no, actually, well, although students in my country often take bus to go to school, but I don't because like my school is so near and close, so I don't need any vehicle to get there. Huh?
Are buses affordable in your country?
Oh, mm, actually, I've never taken a bus, so I don't know it really exactly. But according to my friends like recommendation, she she said that it is quite reasonable that everybody can easily afford it. Yeah, because it's really common here. Buses are really common in my country.
Are buses a good mode of transport?
Mm, yeah, definitely. I reckon that bus is one of the most reliable public transport in the world. It is affordable because it is affordable and like it can it can contain it can deliver a lot of people at the same time. Yeah, so really convenient.
So, I would like you to describe a company you like. You're going to have to talk about this for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you start speaking, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you'd like to say, and you'll be able to make notes during this time. Do you understand?
Of course, sir.
Yeah. And you can see the YouTube screen, okay?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can.
So, let me give you 1 minute to think about what you'd like to say, and then we will move on.
Yeah. Oh, just wait. Wait a second. Let me take my paper. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, it's
Off we
yeah
go.
now.
Okay. So, remember, I would like you to describe a company you like, and you can start talking now, please.
Well, I will. There are, nowadays there are many like profitable companies in the world, but the only one that I want to mention to all of you guys today is a really like famous company named YouTube. Well, not exactly. I remember it where it exactly is, but in my opinion, I suppose that it bases in America, which is like a really suitable cell for them to develop. And I have known about this company like ma- many years before because YouTube is so prevalent, useful, and practical. I mean, it is the most practical tool uh, for most of people in in the world, and its fame really impressed me at the first time because it is the most profitable company in the world. at this time, and there are variety of reasons why I am a big fan of this company. Well, because my daily activities requires a lot requires YouTuber a lot. Well, I can search for many online online resource for my study, and also I can find a lot of useful recipe to improve my cooking ability, and
Okay, thank you.
yeah,
Have you watched YouTube today?
yeah, definitely. I watch it for almost every day.
Okay. So, we were talking about companies, so let's talk about them just in general.
Yeah.
Is a high salary important?
Mm, well, that is a really tough question. Uh, well, in my opinion, there there is a lot. There's something to be said for high salary, because like if we have high salary, we will really satisfied, and we want to try like we want to try to achieve a higher position in the company, and uh, uh, like if we have a good salary, we can afford many things in our lives. But yeah.
Is it easy to find a job in your country?
Mm, well, obviously in my country, it is like quite tough to seek for a job. Mm, because if we want to, yeah, if it comes to basic, the job that requires rudimentary skills like workers or employees, it doesn't matter because everybody can do that. But if it comes to a job that requires more academic knowledge, it would be really tough one, because nowadays in my country the ancient exams are completely push people push people up, uh, push people down because it's so tough, and we can't and students can pass it, so they are really struggle in finding a job.
Are young people in your country leaving to get jobs abroad?
Sorry, sir.
Are young people in your country, are they leaving Vietnam in order to find jobs?
Foreign students in Vietnam?
Young people like you.
Oh, well, obviously, if it comes to jobs like a the person who translate language into language, translator, it would be easier to get a high salary if if people move to another countries like America or England. But in Vietnam, it is rather tough to have a good salary. So many people don't choose to live in Vietnam because we are not we are not rich as many countries like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's the end of the test. Good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, can you please give me some details about my performance?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
For marking criteria.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, like we've said before, you're probably somewhere in that sort of 6 to 7 band. But you're slowly you're moving and improving. So, what I would say is you're always coming up with some really good phrases, expressions, vocabulary. So that's absolutely great. What I would say from today is there were times when you weren't really linking your ideas together. You had good ideas. If we take part 2, for example, when for each of the notes that you had, so if you're going through and talking about things like what the company does, each of these individual answers were good. But when it came to linking them together, this is something you could practice. So you could research kind of good connecting words or phrases to connect ideas together. If you had a bit of more of a flow to what you were saying, that would obviously improve your score in terms of coherence. So that's what I would say. You've got good, let's say, building blocks of ideas, but you want to connect them together a little bit better. So if you were to listen back to this recording when it goes online, you can just listen and think, how could I connect that idea better? What phrase would lead me into that sentence a little bit better? And those are the things that will push you past band 7 for that part of the marking criteria. So what else? We were talking about buses, and there's a difference in English when we're talking about the object, a bus. Children take a bus to school. And the idea, take the bus. The bus doesn't necessarily mean a particular vehicle. It means all buses, an idea. So it's just that basic grammar structure of articles, but it means things slightly different. So, you mentioned kids in my neighbourhood often take bus to work rather than a bus or the bus. So it's just little things like that you want to watch out for. Yeah. So have a bit of a practice again of articles, and it's exactly why we use articles, because it does change the meaning quite a bit sometimes. A nice little phrase for you, when you said that you don't take the bus and you're explaining that your school is quite close, you could say it's within walking distance. Within walking distance. Yeah, which means
it can be walked.
Yeah, it's it's not so far that you can't walk, and the expression is within walking distance. So that's why I don't take the bus. Yeah. What else? Just watch out for the difference between sweetie and sweet. So chocolate is sweet, is the adjective. Sweetie, it can be a term of endearment, like darling, sweetheart, sweetie. Or it can, in British English, we say sweets. We don't say candy, we say sweets. And a sweetie is like maybe an adorable way of talking about a sweet. It's like a childlike way. Do you want a sweetie? You might say. So just watch out for that difference. And talking of the word adorable, I don't think it's a good collocation for chocolate. It's not a word that naturally goes with chocolate. So giving chocolate as a gift, I don't know if it's adorable. You said something else.
It just appears in my mind.
Yeah. So it's just little things like that. But as I said before, you're making great progress, and all you need to do is listen back to what you've said today and just build on it. Think, how could I say that a little bit better? And the more you do that, you're just naturally going to improve. Yeah. Because you have no problem expressing yourself. So that's half the battle. Now you've just got to concentrate on accuracy, and that just comes with practice. But yeah, excellent. So
can you point out the weakest point of my performance?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's weak. So,
Uh,
I mean, to be honest, it's just like I said. It's possibly the weakest part was with the articles, because this is it's a fairly basic grammar structure, and you want to just, as much as you can, not make mistakes with basic grammar structures like articles. So for that, perhaps it was the weakest part.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
but yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. You're certainly improving. Okay, so thank you, Maria, and I'll talk to you again
Yeah.
very soon. And we'll see if anyone else wants to join us. So,
Yeah. Have a nice day.
yeah, you too.
Goodbye.
Bye bye. Okay, so thank you very much to Maria for joining us again. And it really does show you that if you keep practicing, you do improve, because although perhaps there are a few things that Maria could work on, she's made a lot of progress in the last couple of months just by talking to us live, interacting with us here on the YouTube channel. And we mustn't forget that you're trying to learn a language, and English is one of those strange languages where you make a lot of improvement very, very quickly when you first learn it, and then you kind of plateau, because it's one of those things where there are so many odd rules and collocations and things like this, and you've really got to concentrate on perhaps your mistakes, let's say. If you do that, then you start to improve again. But it's all about practice. Unfortunately, there are no shortcuts to learning a language, and this is why Michael and we called our channel the IELTS Grind, because it is a daily grind. So the Zoom call is open to anyone else who would like to join me. You don't have to do the full test if you don't want to do that. I do have a list of just practice questions. I've split them into 4 questions each, and you can, if you just want a little bit of feedback, let's say, get a bit of a practice. Rekav, if you want to join, you're more than welcome. The Zoom information should be in the pinned comment at the top of the live chat. And anyone else who wants to join, feel free to jump in when there's a break. We'll be going at least for another 30 minutes at the very least. And if there's a lot of interest, we can go a little bit longer. Okay, let's see if Rakav can join. Let's see if it all sets up. Okay. Are you able to hear me today? Okay, I think I can hear you now.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Okay, good. It's coming through, yeah. Excellent.
Hello.
How are you today?
Sir, fine, sir.
Okay. So, what kind of practice do you want to do today? Do you want to...
Part two.
You'd like to do some part 2? Okay.
Part 2, yes, yeah.
Let's do that then. Okay, if we jump straight to part 2 from the next one. Okay, so you might recognize this one if you were joining Michael on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
I would like you to describe a cafe that is near your home. You're going to have to talk about this for 1 to 2 minutes, and before you start speaking, you have 1 minute to prepare, and you can make notes during this time. Okay, so if you're ready, I'll give you 1 minute to think about what you'd like to say, starting now.
Can you, yes, sir, describe a cafe, sir? I cannot go back to YouTube.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
not able to see.
Okay, so the prompt says, describe a cafe that is near your home. You should say what it would look like, where it would be located, what they serve, and why you choose to go there. Okay. So if you're happy, I'll give you 1 minute to think about what you'd like to say. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So let's go.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so remember, I would like you to describe a cafe that is near your home, and you can start speaking now.
Okay, so sir, if I had to talk about a cafe near my house or from home, it's a pizza corner that is just near to my house, just 1 to 2 kilometers from my house. It serves as all kind of pizzas and burgers and pastas. So it is near to my house, and it serves these cuisine, basically continental type and fast food, and I prefer visiting this as it is the rates are very convenient in this cafe, and the rate are convenient, and also they provide home delivery. Home delivery if the order is convenient or it's appropriate for the pizza house, and I regularly I frequently patronize this area because it is located in the market area from my sector or from my apartment, and the food here is served with is fresh and food, and these cuisines are served fresh, and they are usually prepared in a hygienic environment, and why not only it's near to my house, and the rates are also convenient for this of this cafe, and other than there is a sitting, we can home delivery, and the sitting arrangement is also good in this cafe, and usually there are round tables.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, and have you eaten there recently?
Yes, sir. Recently, just 10 days back, I just went with my junior there, and we had a pizza and coffee, hot coffee there. It was served. Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Yes.
Okay, good. So, just I'll give you a few thoughts on that. So, with your introduction, you said if I had to talk about any cafe, and then you said it's the one in my neighborhood, or it's this one. You could just add it would have to be, or it would be the one around the corner, and just by adding that, you're completing a second conditional structure. So it's just perhaps what you said was okay, and I think that a native would say it that way as well, but you're just missing an opportunity there. You can also, if you're trying to find things to talk about, you can try and talk about sort of personal stories or things like that. So you mentioned home deliveries. So I just wrote down habit. So if I was talking about it, so they also do home deliveries. And usually my family and I, on a Friday evening, we just order a pizza, or something like that. Or the last time I ordered from them, I had a very funny conversation with the delivery boy. I didn't have enough money, and I had to go to the local ATM. I don't know. You can make up a story perhaps, but it just kind of pads it out a little bit. If you're thinking of things like that, think stories. What could I talk about? Yeah. I like the way that you spoke about you're a patron of this place. You patronize this, meaning you go there, you spend your money. You spoke about it being a hygienic place. This is all very good, high level vocabulary. When you mentioned the rates, so the cost, you said the rates are convenient. I don't know if this is a very good collocation. I would use the word reasonable. It's a reasonable price, a reasonable rate. That's a better collocation for money. It's not too expensive. It's not too cheap. It's somewhere in the middle. Yeah. And just want to ask you at the end, have you been there recently? I think you said you've been there 10 days before, or 10 days after perhaps. I would say I went there 10 days ago. 10 days ago, yeah. And you said with your junior, you would either say your son, your daughter, your children. A junior, you might call your son that. This is junior. If he has the same name, if it's Raghav Junior, you might mention a junior as in work, a junior member of staff, but it's not a direct synonym for a child. Yeah. So yeah, just watch out for that. Yeah. And all I can say is get a little bit energetic about it. Get a bit of excitement, emotion. If it's a place you like to go, try and show that in your voice, and it will give you differences in intonation, and this will help towards the pronunciation score as well. But yeah, so that's what I would say there. Just if you're running out of things to say, think about personal experience. And if you're really running out of things to say and the examiner hasn't stopped you yet, you can always start talking about another cafe. And there's another place next to it that I really like to go to for ice cream. That, as long as you're on topic, it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You happy with that, Rekav?
Yes.
Cool.
Definitely.
Excellent. Okay. Well, perhaps what we'll do is we will see if someone else wants to have another go, and you can come back and join us again maybe next week, and we'll do a little bit more.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Okay, so if you would like to talk to me, if you want to have any practice, we can practice any part of the test you'd like. We still have time. We could run through a full test if someone would like to do that. So let's see who is waiting to join us. Okay, so I'm just grabbing a bit more paper. I've run out of paper here. And then I'm ready to go. We've got Rupinder on the line. Oh, we've lost Rupinder for some reason. If anyone else is eager, let's say eager to talk to me, wants to do a bit of practice, get a bit of feedback, so this is a really good way to improve, because when I listen to you, I can hear what you're doing well, I can hear where you might need to improve, and just having someone give you a little bit of feedback could really help you zoom into those errors that you can really correct very quickly. Everyone has their own thing. When you're learning a language, some things come more easily to you, some things are more challenging, and just with a little bit of helpful feedback, you can really plan your study time a little bit better and get better results. And this is what we're here for. We're here to practice. So don't feel afraid. Jump on live. No one's here to criticize you. Well, it's kind of my job, but I do it in a kind way, perhaps. So feel free to join me. All of the information, if you want to join the live. So we got Chai here. Hello. Rupinder was here, but she dropped out. We've got Tom. Hi, Tom. And any of you, if you want to join this Zoom conversation, the information is at the top of the chat. Feel free to do that. We're going to run a little bit longer. If people want to join me in Zoom, we're probably go a little bit longer as well. In the meantime, let me tell you about what's coming up. So if you come to the website, theieltsgrind.com, we can click on live stream schedule, and this will give you all of the details for when Michael and I, Phil, are going live. So we are, what's the date today? 24th. So it's me at the moment. Tomorrow it's supposed to be me, but we are making a bit of change. So Michael will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. on Saturday, and I'm taking his live stream on Tuesday because he is taking a new class at the school that we both work for. So it will be Michael tomorrow and me on Tuesday, trying to fill Michael's boots. Yeah, okay, so feel free to join me on the Zoom call if you're interested. Otherwise, you can always put your questions into the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. And if you're joining us for the first time, so we've had this channel for over a year now, and it's packed full of what we think are pretty good videos. The first one's perhaps the quality is not great in the way they look, but the material, the advice is priceless, we think. So we've got plenty of videos, and you can come to the playlists if perhaps you're struggling with your pronunciation. We have videos about that. If you want to practice some of your, let's say, grammar or your writing, there's all of these videos for you to help with your IELTS journey. Okay, so it looks like perhaps Rupinder's come back to the Zoom call. Let's see if it works this time. See if we can connect this time. Give it a bit of time. So we've got sort of mini practice if you want to take the art speaking challenge. Get you 4 questions, and the theme this week is about companies. Alternatively, we have a couple full speaking exams if you want to do the full just under 14 minutes of the speaking test. We can do that as well and give you a little bit of feedback. As I said, it's very useful to get a bit of feedback so you know exactly what you're doing right and what you could do to improve. So at the moment, Rupinder, I'm not able to see your microphone for some reason. You can probably hear me, but I'm not going to be able to hear you. Now, I'm not an IT expert really, but the old have you turned it on, off and turned it back on again? Maybe a reboot of your system? Ah, there we go.
Hello.
Perfect. Okay, I can hear you now.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm very good. How about you?
Yeah, I can't complain. Okay, so
Okay.
what do you feel like doing? Do you want to do a short practice? Do you want to practice a part 1, a part 2, or part 3? Or would you like to do the entire mock exam?
I would like to do entire mock test, if it's possible.
I thought you might say that. It is, of course, impossible. No, it's possible. Let's do it. Okay, so let's go and do this one here. Okay, so there is a small possibility that the Zoom call will stop before we end. If it does, I'll start it again. But if it stops just after we finish, I'll just give you the feedback in the live stream, okay? But if it does cut out, just bear with me and I'll start up a new conversation. Anyway, let's get started. I'll give you a timer and let's go. Okay, so let's begin by talking about your hometown. What do you like about your neighbours?
Would you repeat?
Yeah. What do you like about your neighbours?
Well, I'm living in a city, Ludhiana, which is known as Ludhiana, and it's a multicultural city. The apartment or the society I'm living right now is multicultural also. People having a very friendly nature. They are very supportive, and we live like a family actually.
Do you often socialise with your neighbours?
Yes, as I've already told, they are very supportive and very friendly. So I feel very comfortable and I really enjoy it. Whenever I get free time, I like to prefer to socialize with them. And we most of us spend our free time in our park.
Have you ever had an argument with a neighbour?
I think yes, this incident happened with me. The last week, I had a little argument with one of her, the aunt who's living right beside our apartment. She seemed to be very nice lady, but I think she has some. At that time, she had some family trouble, so that's why she was very upset, and due to this, she had a little argument with me.
So let's talk about chocolate. Do you like chocolate?
Yes, I do like chocolate a lot, but I'm a very health conscious person, so I have to resist myself to eat chocolate.
How old should you be to eat chocolate?
As far as I am concerned, there is a no age restriction to eat chocolate, but I would say that fr- age from 6 uh, is the perfect age to start eating chocolate until the senior citizen age that we get. So if there is any disease like a diabetes, in this case, I think everyone should avoid who suffer from diabetes chocolate, not depending upon what they are, what age they are.
Does chocolate make a good gift?
Definitely, chocolate can be a very good and very delicious gift. Um, Even most of the youngsters, especially, they gift uh, their loved one as a chocolate in the form of love to express their love. Especially, the boys often give their girlfriend chocolate as a gift with flowers.
So I'd like to ask you about buses. Do you ever take the
Mhm.
bus?
Yes, I usually take bus whenever I have to travel um, to the longer distance from my house. The reason is that the bus or the public transport, especially the buses, are very convenient in my area. So it's a very comfortable and cost effective to take bus.
Are buses affordable in your country?
Yeah. Um, yes, buses are very affordable in my country because a government has spent a lot of money to make the public transport, especially buses, for the people so that everyone can afford. As our India is developing now, so everyone that cannot afford um, cars or even motor bicycles. So public most of the time uses buses, and it's very affordable in our country.
Okay, let's move on. And I'd like you to describe a company you like. You're going to have to talk about this for 1 to 2 minutes. But before you start speaking, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you'd like to say, and you can make notes during this time. Do you understand?
Yes, yeah, I do.
Okay. So, if you can see the YouTube screen, okay, you have the information. I will give you 1 minute to think about what you'd like to say, okay? Are you able to see the information?
Just give me a sec.
If not, I can read it to
Yes,
you.
yes, I can see.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so I will give you 1 minute to think about what you'd like to say now.
Okay.
Okay, so remember, I would like you to describe a company you like. And can you start speaking now, please?
Um, well, in India, there are many companies who are working very hard to achieve their targets and to earn the highest profit. But the one particular company that I like the most is the Ratan Tata company, and very well developed in our India. Their headquarters is located in Mumbai, and this company mainly manufacture cars. Apart from that, they also open their branches, and they worked for the computers, as well as they are working as some food industry also to provide the good service. And
Okay, your microphone is muted, Rupinder.
about the Ratan Tata company that I saw, and I got attracted by the car. Although at that time I was at very young age, I didn't know about the cars, but still the ad they represented the car is was very attractive. And after that. During the same time in our school, some of the projects were related to the companies. We have to represent the point of view about the different industries. So that point I have to I had to search a lot about this company, where I got to know about the this company. um, I like this company because although they are working as a commercial industry, but
Okay, thank
they
you.
are
Okay. And what is the logo of this company? Is it very famous?
would you repeat this, please?
Yeah. Is it a famous logo for this company?
Yes, this company has a very famous logo, and I can say that very unique logo. They represent flag, the national flag with farmers, which represent that the majority of the economies come from farmers in India.
Okay. Let's move on, and I'd like to ask you, is a high salary important?
Um, I would say yes, high salary is important, but up to a some extent, because we live in a world that we require money to fulfill our needs. But on the other hand, I would say the satisfaction is the key factor that everyone required in their life, uh, including the salary. Because if someone not enjoying their work, or they are not satisfied what they are doing right now, so I think salary doesn't mean anything to them. And also it depends upon person.
What type of people enjoy a high salary more than fulfillment in their job?
The people who are very practical, they are more materialistic than other. They consider the materialistic thing their priority as compared to the spirituality or the satisfaction of their work. These type of people, I think, more satisfied with the higher salary.
Is it easy to find a job in your country?
Definitely not. It's not easy to find a job in my country because of the large population. And the large population. Apart from that, government is not paying good attention to the employment criteria. They seems less worried about the unemployment rate. So I would say that definitely it's very hard to find a job in our country due to the
Okay.
competitive nature.
Okay. Uh, so thank you. That's the end of the speaking test. So I'm just going to finish it there because I think the Zoom call is about to stop. But let me just start by just saying the band score, I would say it's still that range 6 to 7, certainly pushing up towards a 7. So, but I will carry on my notes, but if Zoom drops out, you can catch these in the live stream. I would just say 2 tips. Always answer the question directly, especially in part 1, your first question, you wanted to give me the background before you gave me the details. Try and switch that around. Give me the direct answer. Yes, I love my neighbours. and then explain why it's multicultural. Okay, so we've just lost the Zoom call, but I will carry on just giving my notes. I really liked some of the phrases that Rupinder was using, being health conscious. This was really good, and some excellent phrases throughout. Just a few things I would say. I noticed towards the end of part 1, I think it was, and I heard it in part 2 too. If you feel that you're getting out of breath when you're talking, this means your sentences are a little bit too long. If we were writing, we'd put punctuation. So it's okay to take a breath, but basically if you find that you're running out of oxygen when you're speaking, it's because you're trying to make your sentences too long. It's okay to have shorter sentences that are connected together using relative clauses and things like that. This is actually good complex grammar, but I just noticed that, and it's a good indication that you're trying to push too much into one sentence. Excuse me. Excuse me. Something went down the wrong hole. So I like the phrase when you mentioned there's lots of companies that are trying to achieve high profits. You mentioned it was a good expression to achieve something for their company. I like that phrase. Again, I mentioned this with Maria early on. When we're talking about the bus as public transport, it's when we're talking about the idea of the bus in general, we would say take the bus. Children take the bus to school. It's not talking about the vehicle itself, it's talking about the mode of transport. So you could say, I normally take a bus to the centre of the city. Here you're talking about the actual vehicle. But I prefer taking the bus to the train because I can look out the window. Here we're talking about the mode of transport. So actually in Taipei, I much prefer taking the MRT, which is a form of metro or underground train. Whereas Michael, he prefers the bus. He likes to look out the window, but I don't like sitting in traffic. I like to maybe go further, have to make more changes than sitting in traffic. But he likes the bus, I like the MRT, the mode of transport. Okay, so we're looking at almost up to an hour now. So I realised that I did the same mock exam twice, but it doesn't matter, we can always practice. So we have a few more people watching. Just let me know in the chat if anyone else would be interested in talking to me today. If you are, then I will definitely start up the Zoom call again. But if there are no takers, then perhaps we will finish earlier. So let me know in the chat. Is there anyone that would like to do we can do either what I call the practice speaking challenge, where you have 4 questions from our vocabulary lesson that was last Tuesday, or we have at least one exam which we've not done. We can do a full mock speaking exam. Yeah, Rupinder, so sorry the conversation broke, it dropped out there. I think you're doing a great job, and we've spoken about a few things before, and I've mentioned working on things with your pronunciation to do with the V sound and the TH sound, which don't exist in your language, which do exist in English. We've mentioned that before, but overall I think you're linking your ideas well together and you're on the right track. So hello. Yeah, so let me know in the chat if there's anyone else who would like to talk to me today. I can hang around. You'll have to explain it to my wife, but I'm sure she understands. Happy to hang around for another couple of students if you want to talk. If not, tomorrow you'll have the fantastic Michael back. So it says Phil on the Saturday lesson, but it's actually going to be Michael. I'm going to be covering Michael's live stream on Tuesday. As I said before, he's starting a brand new class with the school that we work for. But let us know in the chat. Perhaps if anyone's interested, we could start a special class online and see how many people would be interested. Okay, so it looks like we have a willing participant. So if you want to join the Zoom, I'll start it again. The information is up here, and let's go and let me reboot that, and we can talk to at least one more person. Let me go back. Okay, so it should be exactly the same login details, everything like that. Okay, so the Zoom call is up and running. So we've got, I'm going to, is it Nguyen Nam? I've got terrible pronunciation, I imagine. But yeah, so this is going to be, yeah. Samaria asks, a new class. Yeah, so Michael and I we're IELTS teachers. This is what we do. This is our day job. This YouTube channel is just sort of our our fun project. So Michael has got a new class with the school where we work in Taipei. But as we are real teachers, there's nothing stopping us from actually starting a proper class, which not necessarily on YouTube, maybe on YouTube, depending how interested people are. If you're interested in taking a class with us, we, about a month ago, 2 months ago, we did a daily live stream. If this is something you guys are interested in, let us know in comments on the channel. Feel free to let us know. I'm sure I could convince Michael to do that again. And we'll see if we can get one more person on into the live Zoom call before I lose my voice.
Yeah, sir. So actually, this is the second time I have a chance to speak to you.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, I remember. I remember trying to pronounce your name correctly, and I think I failed miserably. But how are you today?
Yes, I'm good. And how about you?
Yeah, not too bad. Okay, so what do you feel like doing today? Do you want to have a practice of just 4 questions? Is there a particular part of the exam you want to do, or do you want to do a full mock speaking exam?
Actually, today I think I'm going to do the task one if I can, because I'm not really into the topic today, like companies or something like that. I'm not really know that topic. It's a perfect
chance, because it's possible in the exam you'll get a topic that you don't know much about, and just remember, it's not about you knowing about the topic, it's just you talking in English. So even if you don't know anything about it, you can still get a great score. You just explain, honestly, I don't know, but this is what I think. That's fine. So you're saying that you'd like to do the entire exam?
No, actually,
No?
yes, actually, I would like to do that the task one, but
Okay.
if you have a time, I love to have a full mock test.
Okay. Well, let's do that. We'll do a full test, and that will probably bring us about to the end of this live stream. So let's do the entire test. I do warn you, there are parts about companies, but like I said, if you don't know specifically about a topic, just explain it to the examiner, and just say, "This is what I think." It's fine. You can lie. It doesn't have to be true. It's just an English test. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so off we go. Okay, so let's begin by talking about your home. Is your home comfortable?
Well, I think I'm living in a small house, but I think it's really comfortable to me because it have some machines that can meet my basic needs.
What was your bedroom like? Or what is your bedroom like?
Oh, actually, my bedroom is kind of small. It only have some spaces to store some my important facilities or equipments like computers, a bed, and some kind of clothes.
Did you used to play in your home?
You used to? Yes, I do. Actually, my mother is kind of a workaholic person, so she work every day. So I have to stay at home. When I was 6, so I only stay at home alone. So I played in my house a lot.
So let's talk about podcasts. Do you listen to podcasts?
No, to be honest, I'm not really into podcasts because I think there's not many topics that I can really interested in. So my answer is no.
How can podcasts be useful?
I think actually, as I mentioned before, I think podcast is not really my things, but I think podcast is very useful because it has a various topics, so it can meet many people's needs.
What makes a podcast successful?
I think it's based on the topics. I mean they I think they based on the topic. What is it talking about?
Okay, I'd like to ask you about pens.
Yes.
How often do you use a pen?
Can you wait me 1 minute? Because I cannot. Okay, yes. Let me think. Can you give me a little bit? Okay, yes. I am a student in a local university, so I always have to use use pens to write down my to serve my study.
Will people always use pens?
I think in my perspective, I think people won't always use pens because these days we also have some kind of like computers smartphones, so it's kind of easier to write down or to store something in your computers or your smartphones. I mean, take notes. Yeah.
How can children improve their handwriting skills?
Actually, in my country, only children like about grade 1 to grade 12, they can improve their handwriting skills because they write a lot. But when we are an adults, I think we are not really need that thing.
Okay, I would like you to describe a company which has closed down. And I'm going to correct this because I made a mistake.
Closed down? You mean close or something?
Yeah, so by this I mean a company that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So you're going to have to talk about this for 1 to 2 minutes. But before you start speaking, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you'd like to say, and you can make notes. Okay? So describe a company. Oh, I'm getting tired. Loads of mistakes in this one. Never mind. So are you happy with that topic? Do you understand?
Yes, I can understand.
Okay, so in that case, if we can read it, describe a company which has closed down. I'm going to give you 1 minute to think about what you'd like to say, and you can start thinking now.
Yes.
Okay, so remember, I'd like you to describe a company which has closed down, and you can start talking now, please.
When I talk, actually, this is a top question for me because, as I mentioned before, it's not really my good topic. So I would say that actually, there's I'm not really I take no interested in current affairs, so I only know about this in newspapers. It is a company near my which is near my house. It used to sell computers and smartphones. It's not really popular in my country, but it's really is a good place to buy computers or smartphones in my neighborhood. But actually, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of customer when it hasn't closed down. The reason why it's closed down is, I think it is because of its have some kind of like bad marketing strategies, and something like sometimes they disrespect their customer, and they have some kind of like bad comments on their websites. I think that's it. I'm not really good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
What was the name of this company?
It is Vietnamese name, but like Phong Vũ. Have you ever heard of it? No, I think no. Sorry.
I'd be lying if I said I did. Okay.
Yes.
We were talking about companies. Let's talk about them in general now.
Yes.
What are the challenges people face when they try to open a small company?
I think the challenges that many people face when they try to open a small firms is about how they interact the customers and the way they do some marketing strategies. Is they have to like have some opponents on the business field, like big companies. Yep, that's it.
Why is Facebook so famous for people of all ages?
I think it's because of it has many advantages, like you can share photos or you can do many things. Your friends can know what you're doing, and it's also, I mean, like to personally in my Facebook, I also learned something, and it helped me widen my horizons.
Do you think most people think Facebook is a good company, like morally good company?
Actually, based on my informations and something I got from the internet, I think it's not really a good company, even though it has a high salary, because I think the environment is not really toxic. We have to compare with, or we have to have many other. We have to compare with many colleges. I mean, fight to many colleges. Is it right? Fight. Oh.
I'll tell you later. What are the risks of running your own business?
Actually, I am a student right now, so I think in the future, if I have my own business, the risk that I have to face is that about how to sell a lot of products and how to win in the business fields. Sorry, and I think I have to be. If I have some bad strategies, my companies or my business has to be closed down.
Okay, thank you. That's the end of the speaking test. Good, excellent.
Yes, thanks, teacher, sir.
That's good.
I'm really nervous.
Oh, nothing to be nervous about. Just remember, it's just a job for the examiner, so you don't need to be worried about them. They're just doing a job, and to be honest, it's just you and that person in the room. It may be recorded, but there's nothing to be worried about. If you can do it live on YouTube, you can do it in an exam. It'd be much easier. Okay. So
Yes.
in terms of just some feedback. So overall, I feel that when you speak English, you're extremely fluent. And what I mean by that is you get your message across. If you were to live in the UK, America, somewhere like that, you'd have absolutely no issue living your life. Okay, so that's a really good thing. So you seem to have, you can talk about anything, in my opinion. So that's great. Unfortunately for the IELTS exam, they do worry about accuracy, and this is where you need to focus. Okay, so
Yes.
you're getting your message across, but you're not always using exactly the right phrase or word. So, but that's something you can work on. So let's just go through and talk about a few things. Right. So just a few notes. In the exam, when you need a little bit of time to think about what you want to say, rather than saying to the examiner, so you said to me, can you wait me a minute? So we would say wait for a minute, wait for me for a minute. Rather than saying something like that, think about using phrases like, oh, that's an interesting question. I've never thought about that before. Or, give me a moment to think about that. Or, I've never ever been asked that before. And just by saying phrases like this, it tells the examiner that you've understood the question. You just need time to think about your answer, which is normal. Even native speakers need to do that, okay? So think about that, and it is okay to ask the examiner to repeat a question, to explain a word, and even to totally rephrase a question. It doesn't affect your score. You can do that. But try not to have a chat with the examiner. It's not really a discussion. They're not going to answer you, okay? It's a little bit different today because we're having fun. It's all, but in the exam, it's not so much of a two-way conversation, especially in part one. So just be aware of that. Okay, so just going through, looking at my notes, some really great phrases here and there. So we were talking about podcasts, and you said you're not into them, which is great. If you wanted to use an idiom here, you could say, they're not my cup of tea.
Yes.
Not my cup of tea. It means I don't really like them. Yeah. So what you said was great, but that's another phrase you could use. They're just not my cup of tea. Yeah. Watch out for the difference between virus and viral. A virus is a nasty bacteria that can hurt your body. Viral.
Various.
Yeah, so a virus, virus, this is not to be confused with the expression to go viral. So podcasts will go viral on the internet, and in this context it means to spread in the media.
Yes.
We also use the word viral for diseases. That's where the expression comes from. But not to be confused with virus. Virus is trying to think of a virus, the coronavirus, for example.
I mean diverse. Is that right?
Diverse to be different. It's not quite with the context of what you said. It wasn't quite the same thing. Also, just watch out for the difference between machines in your home. I would say devices, and devices are not to be confused with facilities. Facilities are things that you are able to use. For example, a swimming pool would be a facility. A lift or elevator is a facility. But a computer is a device. So just watch out for the difference there.
Can I call them equipment?
You could say electronic equipment.
Electronic equipment.
Electronic equipment, yeah. What else did I write down? Just watch out for your plurals. So often I heard you mention, for example, to use your smartphones or your computers, when really it should be your smartphone or computer. I think this is more of a pronunciation thing than a grammar error. So just be aware of not adding an S when it's not in the plural. And what else did I write down? I had my notes somewhere. Yes. So when you were talking about not knowing about companies, another good expression is to be out of my depth. To be
Yes.
out of my depth. So depth as in DEPTH. To be out of your depth, it means you're not in a comfortable situation. You're not familiar with what you're talking about. So
Yes.
you might say, to be honest with you, when it comes to companies, I'm a bit out of my depth. I don't know much about them. And this would be a great idiom to use in this situation. Yeah. Also, I liked how you said you take no interest in current affairs. That was an excellent phrase used in exactly the right situation. You were mentioning in part 2 about the company that had closed down, and you were talking about the past and how they mistreated their customers. And you said when it hasn't closed down. Rather, we would say before it had closed down. So we could have used past perfect there. That was just a grammar opportunity that you missed. So just review, how do you talk about events that happen in different orders in English? So, because we use particular grammar tenses, I'm not sure in your language, do you have specific grammar tenses for that, or do you change words? Because I know in some languages you don't have separate tenses for things. It's slightly different. So just review, how do you talk about that in English? It will help you.
Yeah.
What else? I liked how you said marketing strategies, a small firm, all very good. You were talking about opponents and battlefields. Perhaps you've been playing too many computer games. In business, we would say competitors rather than opponents. Competitors,
Yes.
competition.
Competitors.
And rather than a battlefield, we might say a marketplace, like where you're competing with other companies in a marketplace. Okay.
Yes.
But the thing is, I understood what you meant, so that's fine. At no point did I not know what you were talking about, so that's good. So I would say overall, you're somewhere around a 6 probably. Your fluency is okay, your coherence is okay for the most part. I would say that perhaps your grammar's bringing you down sometimes with the pronunciation. You could work on that and concentrate particularly on sounds that do not exist in your language, that do exist in English. And recently I did do a video where we looked at all these sounds. It's in here somewhere. I could be able to find it somewhere. It's escaping me. It's recently I did something about pronunciation in the last couple of weeks. Sounds of English, this one. Let me share this in the today's thing. So it's in the chat. I'm also going to put it into the chat here in Zoom. That's a video that talks about all the different sounds in English. There really aren't that many. And if you concentrate on the sounds that exist in your language and the sounds that don't exist in your language, that's going to help you with your pronunciation of English. And then lexical resource, as I said, if you're using slightly more idiomatic language, things like "it's not my cup of tea" or "to be out of your depth," those kind of natural phrases, that will push up your lexical resource, as well as choosing marketplace over battlefield, competitors over opponents. So that's the kind of thing to work on. So my advice is read as much as you can in English. Doesn't have to be about IELTS. Anything you're interested in, read about it in English. This will help boost your lexical resource, your vocabulary. It will help boost your grammar. For your pronunciation, we also did a video about Netflix. This is a cool little method that particularly Michael, he teaches his students this. And it's a way of using videos, Netflix, YouTube, whatever, and anything that has subtitles, so you can double check what people are saying. I put it there in the chat for today, and I'll share it with you in Zoom. This method, if you watch it, you're basically working with native speakers, listening to native people, and just practicing how they say things, trying to copy them. Now, you do not need to have an accent like me to get a good score in the IELTS, but what would be useful is just getting a little bit closer to the intonation and the rhythm, the way that I change that I'm speaking. You know, it goes up and down, changes. And the best way to do that is to mimic or copy real native speakers. So watching TV, YouTube, as long as it's native speakers, you can do this and it will boost your pronunciation. Yeah. So those are my suggestions. But as I said, I would say probably you're somewhere around a 6 at the moment. Maybe more sort of range 5 to 6. But in the real world, if you move to London today, no problem. We'd understand exactly what you're saying, and you'd fit in fine. So that's the hard work done. But just work on the accuracy for the exam. That'll push it up, and you'll probably get higher with a bit of work. Okay?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
So well done. Thank you for talking to me today.
Yes. Thanks for your advice.
No problem at all.
I really appreciate.
Well, I appreciate you joining me. Otherwise, it would be an hour of me talking to myself.
Yes.
Right. So I'll say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yes, you too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let me have a look who's in chat. So I saw a question from Linda. I don't know if Linda's still hanging around. So she asked, what does it mean, did you used to play in your home? So really this question would be, as a child, did you play at home? Did you play outside? That's what the question was about. And what time do the speaking classes start? Well, as I said, if you come to the IELTSGrind.com, which is our website, and click on live stream schedule, you get all the schedule. We normally try and lay it out for the entire month, and you can see it's 8 p.m, but that is 8 p.m. based on Taipei, which is where Michael and I live. So you can check what time of day that is for you. So for example, New Delhi, it's about 7 o'clock. Cairo, it's about 3:30. Ho Chi Minh City, it's 8:30, 20 to 9, and so on. So thanks everyone for joining us. If at all, at any point, this was a useful video, feel free to give us a like, and we'll be back tomorrow with Michael for more practice.